What's going on, guys? Justin here. So this video is long overdue. I've been meaning to do this for a long time, but I figured with holiday time and everyone ordering online, I figured this was the most appropriate time to talk about this. So I worked for probably the second worst company I've ever worked. Well, actually they're the first worst company, but the second worst job I've ever had. So some of you may have heard of them, Lasership. It's an East Coast thing, so if you're not on the East Coast, pretty likely you haven't heard of them. Lasership. Oh my God. This company, they are nothing but liars and thieves. So I guess let me just give you a backstory on my experience working with them. I worked for them for about maybe 3 or 4 weeks. So here's what happened. So I got the job. I kept hearing about how great it was. And then when I got into the office, and the manager at the time, we're just going to call him Dipshit McGee. So Dipshit McGee starts talking about to us an orientation about how this is going to be like, we're going to make so much money. Like, he was talking about some crap like most of the drivers make like $200 a day and all this kind of stuff, and you could work as much as you wanted or as little as you wanted. It sounded great. Well, what I should have known was that if something is too good to be true, it probably is. Well, this couldn't have applied more here. So, we get the job, we apply and everything, and when I say we, I'm of course talking about one of my friends who I'll leave unnamed for now. So anyway, we apply for the job, and we're just waiting on them to finish their paperwork and everything. So I happened to run into said friend at a convenience store, and we said, hey, let's go check on our job status. So we do. So Dipshit McGee apparently said that they updated the application, I guess a couple days after we had applied. So we sit in that office for 8 hours trying to get all this stuff done. Like what kind? I don't know why it took so damn long to process our paperwork. I mean, geez, are you using like old caveman technology computers to do this? Because I mean, geez, I've never been to a job where it took 8 hours to apply. It was ridiculous. Okay, so let's jump forward to our first day of work. Okay, so they send me to Mechanicsville, Virginia. Okay. Whatever. Well, they sent me to the country part of Mechanicsville, Virginia, where there's no cell phone service. So basically, I had no signal. I couldn't use my GPS. It was really hot outside, and there was like no gas station, no restaurants or anything. So I had no food. I had no water or anything. I'm out there dehydrating. I have no clue where I'm going. I've got these gravel driveways hitting my car, I'm sure just doing more wear and tear on my car. Yeah, thanks, guys. Really appreciate you sending me out to a place with no cell phone signal. And I'm pretty sure they knew there was no cell phone signal out there. Because when they gave me my manifest, which is basically the list of all your packages, it had printed directions to all these places. So I'm pretty sure they knew there was no cell phone service. Oh, but I guess really, let me backtrack to when you start. Okay, so when you start, now first of all, you're only getting paid by the package. So you're not getting paid by the hour, period. So Dipshit McGee tells my friend and I that we should get there between 6 and 8. Well, guess what? You're not going to get on the damn road till probably about 10:30, if you're lucky. So, because guess what? You're also going to load your car, too. Yeah, that's right. They don't have anyone to load your car for you. And yes, you're using your personal vehicle, which I don't mind using my vehicle for work. But, it would be really nice if, somebody would load the car, especially when I'm not getting paid by the hour to do this. So it takes forever. And yeah, so it takes you forever to actually figure out where your route is. And then once you finally start loading up your car, you know, you got to wait for all the other drivers to come in and out. There's absolutely no organization. Oh, and there's no communication either. In fact, there was a day where we were told that we should, you know, it was like first come, first serve. If you pull your car up into the warehouse, it was first come, first serve type deal. Well, what dipshit McGee didn't tell us is that, you know, there were certain drivers, I think they were like freight drivers or some, not freight drivers, but, you know, they did, I guess, like the more business related ones anyway. But apparently they got first come, first serve. They never told us that. So after we had already pulled in up our cars, we were told that we can't do this. So that was, you know, just, they don't communicate. That's the problem. Then they get mad at you because, you know, you didn't know something. Oh, and let me also mention this. So remember how dipshit McGee said that we were going to make about $200 a day? Well, basically, even though he was like, oh, you're going to make between about $2.50 to $4 a package. Well, that's not the case. Yes, there's the overnight or the next day stuff, but you'll get like maybe 30 of those, and that's if you work at night. During the day, you make between about $1 to $2.50 a package, and you rarely get the $2.50 packages. So that was a bunch of crap. So, and not only that, but you know, after I got the Mechanicsville route, well, I told them I was never driving that route again. And they gave me Henrico, which was fine. I liked the Henrico route. Here's the problem. Well, Henrico wasn't bad because it was like 4 minutes away, but there was one day where they gave me Chester, Virginia. Well, problem with that is that's a lot more rural than Henrico. So you're basically looking at about an 8 to 10 minute drive between each stop. So you're basically working at a loss because, you know, you're filling up your car so much that it's not really worth the time and effort. Like, I did so much more money doing food delivery and so much less work too. And not only that, but these food delivery companies actually care about their drivers. Lasership could care less. Oh, remember how I said we were told we could work whenever and whenever we wanted? Well, if you have a day off, even if you told them you had the day off, oh, get ready for about 5 calls and 1 hour intervals, sometimes 20-minute intervals asking you to come to work. So yeah, have fun with that. And in fact, there was it was definitely a shitty company, but there were 2 straws that just really made me say, fuck Lasership. I would rather be broke and respected than work here. So what exactly happened here? Let's go with the first one. So I was off on Thursday, and I was supposed to go see a movie with a friend, you know, that night. But I'm thinking, I was off that day, but then they called me saying, hey, do you think you can do about 20 packages to Midlothian? Well, I really did not want to, but I'm like, okay, 20 packages, no problem. I can get that done and be done. Well, I get there, and I'd already loaded up my car with the Midlothian packages, did all that good stuff. Cool, ready to get on the road. Well, I get there, and apparently, I guess another driver just decided that he didn't care, so he wasn't going to deliver half his packages. So they had me do it, and it was a Chester route. Oh, and there was some Colonial Heights mixed in there, too. For those of you that don't know the geography of Central Virginia, Colonial Heights is about a 20-minute drive from Chester. So that was real nice of them. And, you know, basically I was out delivering packages till almost 12 in the morning until I finally said, man, fuck them. And I just took the rest of the packages, dropped them off at the warehouse. I'm like, they want to fire me, I wouldn't even care. And it just pissed me off that they didn't even care. Oh, and the stupid idiot redneck motherfucker manager, yes, I'm sorry, I'd have nothing nice to say about him. he said, I'll help you load my car. Well, he didn't organize anything. He just threw them all the packages in my car. So every time I got to a stop, I was wasting time searching my car, trying to find out where the packages were going. So that just added like an extra 5 minutes per stop. And I don't care if he's watching this. And if he is watching it, he can go fuck himself. Yes, I'm not sounding very nice in this video, and I really, really do not care either. In fact, I hope anyone that managed Lasership watches this, because they should be ashamed of themselves and their shitty company. So that sucked. And then, oh, here's another thing. There was one day where I also did, that day I did Chester on a Saturday, the only time I ever did it. You know, it was usually the day I would meet with my fiance. Cool, I'm thinking, oh, 20 packages, no problem. Well, guess what? Because the packages didn't all fit in my car, I set them aside, and I'm like, okay, cool, I'll come back. Well, the GPS was acting up, so it was just sending me all over the place. I'm just wasting time and gas. I'd go all the way back up to Richmond. This is like a 30 to 35-minute drive. Only to find out, well, because I was taking so long, they had somebody else deliver the rest of the packages. Never called me, never shot me a text or an email saying that was happening. Nope, just decided they were going to let me find out by driving up there. So after I finally got back to my fiance's house at about 7 o'clock at night, you know, great, day's almost shot because of this shitty company. So I guess really that was the first straw, and then the whole thing with keeping me out till 12 a.m. was the second straw. Here is the third straw. So my friend and I, we go there. Our gas lights are on, so like we need our checks because dipshit McGee never processed our direct deposit. So, but we're like, hey, whatever, our check will be there in the morning. Well, we get there, and dipshit McGee tells us that the checks are going to be on the FedEx truck. They won't be there till 2. And so my friend and I kind of look at each other like, what the fuck? Like, we need gas to drive. So we're like, well, we need to make money today, and we want to be productive. So let's divide my route because it's not that far away from the warehouse, and we'll go from there. So we do that. And the dispatcher, can't really think of a good nickname for her. So anyway, the dispatcher, she's like, I'm the dispatcher, so you can't decide the route. Which, I mean, she's not wrong, but the thing is, we didn't have our check. So, you know, whatever. And we told her the situation, and she's basically like, oh, well, you two can just go on home then. So we're like, fine. So we unloaded the packages, and we went and hung out at a nearby Target until we could get our checks. Oh, but while we were at Target, we were called an hour later asking us by the dispatcher who told us to go home, could we come deliver about 20 packages? And I'm like, lady, are you fucking brain dead? Like, we just said we have no gas in our car. We can't get our checks till 2. Like, you know, were you power slammed on your head when you were a kid? So I'm like, no, I'm not coming in. We need our checks. And she said, if you come in, we can give you the check. So I'm going, wait a minute. You had my check this whole time, and you didn't tell me about it. We could have avoided all of this drama had you just communicated with each other. So now I'm definitely not going in to deliver those packages. They can kiss my ass. I get a call about an hour later from another one of the supervisors telling me to come to work. And I said, hey, I can't, man. And he's like, well, when you signed the agreement, you said you'd be available Monday through Sunday. And I'm thinking to myself, no, you don't pay me enough to make me available 7 days a week. So I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not coming to work. So we go in, we get our checks, and another manager who I've not spoken to at all that day says, "You trying to take some packages?" I'm like, "No, I'm not." And I left, and we stopped showing up. Now, I went ahead and blocked all their phone numbers because I'm not dealing with harassing phone calls, and I don't feel like listening to those blithering idiots trying to get me to stay. So I don't. Um, I just stopped showing up. I got my final check, and that was all she wrote. Now, I'm going to talk about my friend here. So he's remained unnamed, so whatever. So anyway, so he says that, so he actually got a call that next day, like saying, could he come to work? And because we both still had that sour taste in our mouth from how they treated us, he's like, no, well, he was just telling, well, no, I got to take my kid out. And the dispatch, this is the same dispatch that said that we had to be available Monday through Sunday. Said, really? You're taking your kid out on a Saturday? So my friend, rightfully so, told him that was none of his fucking business, which I probably would have told him the same thing. So, he was like, oh man, you know what? My friend was like, yeah, no, I'm definitely not coming back now. So, and here's the weird thing, even though he blocked their number too, it was still showing up that they were trying to call him. Now, let's keep in mind that, now keep in mind I had an iPhone, he has an Android, so I don't know if Android, it shows your missed calls even when they're blocked or what, but, because it never even showed that they tried to call me. Well, anyway, so after that, we were both like, yeah, we stopped showing up. So we went back to our old jobs, making more money. Now, here's the funny thing. The dispatch that told us to go home, my friend ran into her at the grocery store. And she was like, oh, did you guys quit? We're like, no, we just stopped showing up. And she's like, oh, what are you doing now? And my friend was like, I went back to my old job, my business, making a lot more money than you guys ever paid me. I'm probably not saying that exactly right, but it's more or less the same thing. But yeah, Lasership. You know something? I have to say this. I really don't wish failure on anybody. I really don't. But I think these guys are liars and thieves. I mean, if you go look at reviews, like Glassdoor, I think their average review is like 2.4, 2.5. I actually left them a scathing little review on there myself. Google reviews are like 1.4, if that. Like, if I could have ranked them lower than a 1 star on Glassdoor, I would have definitely given them a lower, like I would have given them a 0 if that was an option. But yeah, these people, they're liars, they're crooks, they're thieves, and I just feel like they're stealing money from people, and that's just not cool in my book. So if you're looking for a job, don't waste your time with Lasership. They should probably change their name to Lasershit. In fact, something interesting, this company's apparently been around since 98, 99, something like that. And they're still around. Like, I didn't even hear about them until I applied for the job. So how they've been around this long, I have no clue. Oh, I should also mention the fact that the Better Business Bureau doesn't even accredit them. So that should tell you something about the company. Well, guys, I hope this helps. I really hope the people at Lasership see this, because I think they should really be ashamed of how they treat their customers, how they treat their employees. It's bad. Don't work for them, ever.